Do you want to be a success? I'm sure you do. I've never met anyone who wanted to be a failure. But how do you know if you're a success? Well, it all depends on how you define it. Well, to the world, success is money, fame, power, influence, and pleasure. And that's why most people get up in the morning. But in the kingdom, we define success differently. Success is walking with God, hearing His voice, and learning how to confidently be His son or daughter. You see, God is more interested in your heart than the actual outcome of your actions. He wants to build faith and character in your life. Or another way to look at it is He's more interested in the journey than the destination. He's more interested in the process than the actual outcome of your actions. And He's much more interested in what He's doing in you than what He's doing through you. Now, there will always be ups and downs as you walk with God. Some things turn out better than expected, some things worse than expected. But as long as you're faithful to God's call on your life and what He's placed inside you, then you are a success. Now, in my ministry, I've had lots of ups and downs. I've had times of discouragement, frustration, at times when I thought our events were a failure. But you see, the calling on my life, my role, is to make mental, spiritual, and emotional healing available to Christians. And as long as I'm doing that, I'm a success. But I have to leave the outcome of those events up to God. Now, the Nobel Prizes are being awarded this month. Now, the scientists who get the Nobel Prizes are considered the most successful scientists in the world. But what are they being rewarded for? They're being rewarded for a lifetime of research and experimentation. And it wasn't all continuous success. There were successes and failures and successes and failures as they experimented and made their way through to these amazing breakthroughs. But they stuck with it and became great successes. And in your walk with God, there's going to be times where you're delighted with the outcome and times when you're very frustrated and you think it's a failure. But don't give up. Don't beat yourself up. Did you know even Jesus had setbacks and frustrations? There's some very obvious examples. It said that when He was preaching in His hometown, He couldn't do miracles because of their unbelief. That was kind of a setback. Some people would call that a failure. And He spent 3 years discipling 12 men. And they walked with Him and saw all His miracles, but one of them actually betrayed Him. So you'd think, was that a failure? No. And then Jesus was executed after only 3 years of ministry. Now, for sure, His disciples considered that to be a failure, but it wasn't. It was part of God's plan for our redemption. So the next time when you're sure you're walking with God and following His leading, but you have unexpected events that you think are failures or frustrations and setbacks, don't beat yourself up. This is part of God's plan. It's part of the process. We all go through it, even Jesus did. And so keep walking with Him, keep listening to His voice, don't lose heart, and stay close to God because He's walking you through and you are a success as long as you are consistently walking with Him. So now I want to hear from you. What events in your life appeared to be a failure, but in retrospect, it was a great success? Just leave your testimony in the box below because it will encourage the people who are currently feeling really frustrated. And so, if this is your first visit here, you need to get my free self-assessment guide. And to do that, just subscribe to this weekly email newsletter video by filling out the subscription form, which you can access by clicking on the link, Join the Transformation Movement, which is below this video. And I'll talk to you again next week, but this week, don't be frustrated. Just walk close to God. He's guiding you every day.